I bought every single Kenra color rapid toner, so you don't have to, and we're gonna put them to the test. We're gonna start out from the coolest to the warmest, so you can find out exactly which shade is best according to the canvas that you're working on. So stick around to the very end so you know exactly how each shade works and which one you should use on your next client. And if you're new here, my name is Mirella Manelli. I'm a hair educator who loves helping hairstylists simplify their skills and business. And if you like videos like these, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with a friend, because this truly is the best way you can support my channel, and it just helps the algorithm get it to the right people. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. Now, before we go and mix these up and actually put them to the test, I want to let you know a little bit more about the Kenra Color Rapid Toners so you know exactly what they're all about and exactly how they work. So they come in 7 different intermixable shades. You'll notice that there's 6 different shades for blondes and 1 for brunettes. They come in SA, SV, VP, beige, GV, ROV, and green blue in a 2-ounce tube. They are ammonia free and deposit only. This means you're not going to get any lift out of this product, and an alkaline-based demi-permanent hair coloring system that works best on levels 8 through 10, with the exception of the green blue rapid toner, which we'll get into in just a second. What makes these colors so amazing is they work in about 5 minutes or less. They provide vibrant, long-lasting results and can last anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, depending on how long you process them and the saturation level that you're really trying to achieve. This color line is also formulated with Balancing Complex 5, which consists of vibrant, long-lasting results, intense shine, improved condition and manageability, a gentle formulation, and outstanding coverage and color saturation. This is going to be the best type of coloring system for you to use if you're doing toning, filling, gray blending, or color enhancing. However, because they are slightly alkaline based, you may see a slight pigment shift on super baby fine hair. The other cool thing about this color line is you can apply it on damp or dry hair, and giving you lots of versatility on the type of color that you're doing. My personal selling point for demi-permanent is it's like nose for hair. It kind of fills the hair, makes it look really shiny, really hydrated, and super polished. Now, before we mix these up, let's go ahead and talk about the tone of each of these shades, starting with the coolest. Now, the coolest shade, in my opinion, is SA, which stands for Silver Ash. Overall, it's going to give you a cool ash blonde reflection and works best on levels 8 through 10. Next is SV, which stands for Silver Violet. Silver Violet is going to give you a silver violet reflection and also works best on levels 8 through 10. Next up is VP, which stands for Violet Pearl, which is also going to give you a violet pearl reflection that works best on levels 8 through 10. Now, the B is kind of the middle of the road, which stands for beige, and it's also my go-to and personal favorite. Beige is going to give you a pale violet toning for a beige blonde reflection and will work best on levels 9 through 10. GV stands for Gold Violet, and it's going to give you a cool blonde reflection for levels 8 through 10. Now, the warmest out of all of these shades is the ROV, which stands for Rose Violet, and it's another personal favorite of mine because it's going to give you this really beautiful blushy tone that works best on levels 8 through 10. Now, last on the list is the green blue, and I left this one for last because it's kind of like the redheaded stepchild out of the whole collection, because it is truly designed for your brunette babes or for corrective coloring. Overall, it's going to give you a cool brown reflection for those levels 4 through 6. But today we're going to kind of put it to the test and try it on a level 7, which we'll get into a little later. So now it's time to mix them up. So I wanted to show you something really cool about this color line is that when you open up the box, it gives you 2 different mixing ratio options. You can either do 1:1 or 1:2, and you want to make sure that you're using the dedicated 9-volume developer with this line. I cannot stress enough how important it is to utilize the dedicated developer with the corresponding line that you're using, because that's how you're going to get the best result. Now, for our test swatches today, we're going to be trying out the blonde collection on a level 10 and a level 8. This is technically a 10, but it's pretty much a 12, and if you know, you know. It's kind of like the color that Kim Kardashian wish she had. Kim Kardashian! But I think it's really important for us to test these shades on the 2 different levels and have just a different type of canvas so we can see exactly how much control we get, as well as the true tone if we were to take the hair to that level 10. And then for our green blue rapid toner, we're going to try this out on levels 5, 6, and 7. Now, typically when you're doing a lightening service on a brunette, it's going to come out a lot warmer than this. And I did have a hard time finding some swatches that had that orangey red cast. So I think we're going to get a lot of coolness out of this test today, but you'll at least be able to see the true color of the shade on this type of neutral canvas. So now I'm going to go ahead and mix these all up, and I'll be right back with all of our shades ready to go. Now that I have these all mixed up, I use a ratio of 1:2 for the rapid toners, because typically when you're doing toning, we're using a 1:2 mixing ratio in general. Just keep in mind, if you want maximum saturation, you're going to want to mix it up 1:1 and apply on dry hair. Another cool feature about these rapid toners, before we go ahead and dive into each of these shades, is that they are made with both indirect and direct dyes. So indirect dyes are your oxidative dyes. Those are the dyes that are diving deep into the cortex of the hair and actually penetrating the shaft of the hair and giving you that longevity. Whereas direct dyes are a larger molecule. They typically live on the outside of the hair, and those are going to be responsible for the vibrancy of the shade. So now let's go ahead and apply our coolest shade, SA Rapid Toner. Okay, so let's go ahead and put SA to the test. Now, what I will say is that SA is very, very strong and pigmented. So keep in mind that these are all intermixable, and I really do like mixing up my rapid toner shades, both with the traditional demi color line and within the rapid toner collection. And we're gonna get a very cool light reflection in just about 5 minutes. The cool thing about the rapid toners is that you can process them up to 5 minutes, meaning you don't have to leave them on for exactly 5 minutes. They can be left on for as little as 1 minute, 2 minutes, or even 3 minutes. The choice really is yours. So the cool thing that I like about the Kenra Color Demi Permanents is what you see is what you get in the bowl. So as soon as you see visually that the hair is done, you can go ahead and remove the color for a long-lasting result. The SA shade is really great for anyone who has really stubborn, orangey, gold tones that just don't want to go away, even at that level 8. And sometimes I like even adding a little bit of SA into my beige rapid toner or even my VP rapid toner, just to kind of give it a little extra kick. So you don't have to use it by itself, but it is going to give you a true silver ash shade, and it is probably one of the more stronger rapid toners out of the entire collection. You can instantly see how much control and coolness the SA is giving these swatches. So it's been 5 minutes, and look at how much control that we got out of these swatches. And you can really see the difference when they're side by side. So this is the corresponding swatch at level 10, and then this is the level 8. And look at how much control we got. All of that warmth completely controlled, and it is such an amazing shade. As a matter of fact, when I was watching it process, I was thinking that these could be a great combo for somebody that needs some like low lighting on natural gray hair, or maybe some gray enhancing, just something to kind of remove a lot of those yellow tones. But the one thing I will tell you about this shade is don't be afraid of it. Let it process and let it do its thing. If you really want to achieve this type of coolness, you're going to need to let it process for the full 5 minutes, and it does look rather scary as it's oxidizing. And I would love to know how you would use this shade down below. The second coolest shade is the SV Rapid Toner. So this is going to be your silver violet. This is going to be a great shade to neutralize any of those yellow and even kind of orangey tones, which is going to be a really great test on that level 8 swatch. Personally, this is like a really great go-to shade to use, especially if you have clients that want a silver end result. This makes a really great pre-toner formula. Now that I think about it, SV was highly used as a pre-toner back in the day when silver was a huge trend. So I'm talking 2015, 2016, and I really see silver kind of making its way back into the scene this year. So we'll see, time will tell. But if you ever do a client that does want a silver end result, make sure you have SV Rapid Toner as part of your arsenal for a pre-toner. Kind of the general rule of thumb is you want to create a really cool based canvas before you put your final silver shade on. But let me know down below in the comments if you would want me to try showing you how to do a true silver end result shade down below. Now that it's been 5 minutes, you can really tell the difference between the control on the level 8 versus the level 10. But I really love this cool canvas we got on both, really. So The thing that makes SV really unique is that it has that silver violet base, meaning it has almost a little bit of blue tone to it to help control a lot of the orange pigments, which is why it does so great at the level 8. And you can see how beautiful of a silver, true violet shade tone that we got at that level 10, making this a really great option for quick toning, for pre-toning, or to finish with your final shade if your client truly loves that really cool blonde finish. The next coolest shade is the VP Rapid Toner. So this is your Violet Pearl, and what makes this tone really unique is it has that kind of pearlescent, iridescent type of feel to it as it oxidizes. So what you'll notice is that it's gonna instantly almost kind of start turning pinkish a little bit, which a lot of people get very nervous as it starts to oxidize. And I just love this shade. This is probably one of my go-to toners for controlling a little bit of that yellow tone that we see a lot in our lift from our foils. But it just gives like this almost kind of like creamy pearlescent. Well, I'll just let you see how it oxidizes and what the finished result is. Personally, I like using VP Rapid Toner as an intermixable shade or as a standalone. I really like mixing VP with my B shades for that creamy feel, but with a little extra control because of the violet inside of VP. And I also really like mixing it with GV Rapid Toner and then also ROV, which you'll see exactly why later. It's been 5 minutes since our VP Rapid Toner has processed, and you can really tell a difference between the level 10 and the level 8. And we got this really beautiful pearlescent violet pearl end result on that level 10 swatch. However, with the level 8 swatch, we kind of got like this like mauve-y type of end result. It's still really beautiful if that's the type of tone you're going for. But overall, this is going to be a great, more of like an additive for that level 8. So maybe, you know, think about adding in some SV if you want a little bit extra control. But let me know down below what you think of the shades we've shown you so far. So now let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So the GV is Gold Violet, and it is a great shade for someone who wants that golden end result, but you also need the control to help neutralize a lot of those yellow pigments. Now, if you know anything about the color wheel, you're probably thinking, well, that's contradictory because how could you mix gold and violet together? And the answer is quite simple, because when you mix those two pigments together, you're actually getting a neutralization effect. And because this is formulated as a GV, that means its primary shade is gold and its secondary light reflection is the violet, meaning you're going to have that control of that yellow and golden pigment that the brass that we don't want to see, but it's going to give you that primary gold shade. So this is why it's such an amazing, beautiful color. Now, one of the things that I like about the Rapid Toners is even though they work really fast in 5 minutes or less, you're not really going to get an anxiety attack from using them. I've used lots of different demi-permanent color lines where you put it on and it just instantly oxidizes and it just scares the crap out of you. But to be completely honest, this has a nice gradual, like you can see the tone just right before your eyes and exactly what you want. So this is why I like it so much. So as soon as it's done, you can just rinse it out. But overall, the GV is really forgiving. In essence, you could let these process a little longer than 5 minutes because let's be real, it's almost impossible to get the toner on in under 5 minutes, especially if you're doing a global application. So definitely, you know, don't be scared. But if you are working with highly porous hair, like for example around the hairline, definitely leave that out for last to tone. But overall, these work really, really beautifully and process extremely well. So it's been 5 minutes, and what was really interesting about the GV Rapid Toner is that as it oxidized, we could really see a lot of these kind of gray tones showing through, which could be kind of alarming when you're processing it behind the bowl. The GV Rapid Toner at the level 8 left us with this really gorgeous gold shade. So I'm really impressed with how much control we got with the brass in this level. Now, when it came to the level 10 though, it almost still kind of looks a little too cool, but that's the violet factor within GV. But I will say this, in certain tidbits of light, you can see a lot of those golden tones kind of showing through. I would probably veer away from this if you're truly trying to get a golden shade. I would probably add in a little bit more warmth to it with maybe like your gold series in the demi-permanent line. Now I'm really excited to share with you the beige rapid toner. This is like my go-to. I love this tone so much. I feel like it works on almost anybody, but it'll be really interesting to see truly how this processes on that level 8, which typically I like using it on a level 8 and even a level 9. Now, Kenra Color does specify that this works best on levels 9 and 10, but like I said, it'll be really cool to see exactly how much control we get and if we truly get a beigey tone at that level 8 swatch. One of the things that I love about beige rapid toner is that it has a really strong cooling effect, but it doesn't leave a cool end result. It's just a beige. It's kind of neutral, and a lot of times our clients are looking for a natural shade, and beige just kind of like fits in that zone. Now, because they're intermixable, if you do want a little bit of coolness to it, you can add the cool rapid toners to your beige, or if you want to add a little bit more warmth, you can have the warm into your beige. So beige is just kind of like your really neutral foundation, a neutral shade to use that works almost great on anybody. It's been 5 minutes and I absolutely love the results that we got actually on both the level 10 and the level 8. But I want to really kind of focus on the level 8 for a second because again, this was marketed for 9 through 10 and we got lots of control. So this is perfect for somebody who has a lot of brassy tones, but maybe just doesn't want to go too cool. So we got a really gorgeous beige end result for that level 8. And even on the level 10, it just kind of gave this really like nice little hint of cool beige. So we still got lots of coolness at the lighter level, but overall I love this. But let me know down below if you like this shade. And now we're gonna move on to our warm series, which is the GV. So next up is the ROV. Now this one is gonna give us a really beautiful blushy tone. And I really love the shade, but I'm really excited for you to be able to see exactly how it looks on that level 10 versus the level 8. This is another shade that works really great if you want to intermix it with the gold violet, or if you want to intermix it with the VP rapid toner, or even any of the other demi-permanent shades. Now the really cool thing about ROV is that it is a rose violet, meaning you're gonna have those blushy tones, but because of the violet light reflection, you're actually going to get a lot of control with the yellow pigment. So that's what makes this blushy tone really unique and why I love it so much. And this is also why it pairs really beautifully with the GV and the VP and even the SV rapid toner. Personally, I really love mixing ROV with a lot of the B shades in demi-permanent in Kenra Color. And if you want to learn more about toning and some of my favorite formulas, you're going to want to check out the Ultimate Toner Guidebook, and I'm going to put the link to that in the description down below. Now that we washed out the ROV, you can really see the difference between the level 10 and the level 8. And with the level 10, we have this really beautiful kind of blushy tone, kind of pink, really soft and really pretty. And what you can see with the level 8 is a lot of those kind of coppery tones coming through, and that's because we're enhancing those natural undertones on that level, because a level 8 consists of just a little bit of copper or orange inside of that yellow. I personally love this shade on top of a brunette, and I've worn this multiple times throughout my Instagram life, so you've probably seen me with ROV on my hair at one point or another because I really love pink. But let me know down below how you would use this and if you think you'd want to try the ROV on yourself. So the very last one on our list is the green blue. So we're going to be testing it on levels 5, 6, and 7. Now this is the 5, the one that's labeled 7, because my assistant labeled it the wrong shade, but that's totally okay. We know that it is. The 6 is the correct one. No big deal. So I'm going to be completely honest with you. The green blue rapid toner works really quickly. Personally, I think this is a great shade in the collection, specifically for color correction. Because there's a lot of times that we're trying to correct those level 4, 5, and 6 orangey red shades, and there's just nothing that's going to really kick that shade out. And that's where the green blue rapid toner comes into play. One of the things that I like about the Kenra Color Demis is that not only can you apply them with a bowl and a brush, but you can apply them in the bottle for specific types of applications. So if you're a bottle user and you like using the bottle, you definitely can shake it up inside the bottle and apply it that way. So you have lots of versatility with this line. You can almost instantly see how much control we're getting on these level 5s, 6, and 7s. And once this is all done processing, it's amazing how much control you really truly can get on those really orangey red shades. I just wish I had a swatch like that to show you so you can truly see how much control this has. So just some creative ways that you can use it is by adding just a couple ribbons of your green blue rapid toner into, for example, let's say a 6A or a 7A shade, or maybe even your double ash shade. So lots of different options with the green blue rapid toner. So don't be afraid to have fun and intermix these rapid toners into your other shades. So I just washed out the green blue rapid toner and you can clearly see how much control we got on that level 5, 6, and 7. So again, not the most beautiful shade. I kind of mentioned that a little bit. This is more of a color correction tool. So you can use it as a standalone, but lots of opportunity. You can even see here with this level 5 swatch, it definitely gave us kind of like a nice tone to the end result. I definitely think this is something that would look really beautiful on that level 5. But as we get to like the 6, which is a little bit lighter, we notice that it starts to look a little muddy, to be expected though, because it is a green blue. And then of course on the level 7, it got really, really ashy, super dark. But again, I see lots of potential using it on a level 7 if I were using a level 7 toner and using this one as an additive. So again, lots of different creative options you can do, but let me know down below if you were pretty wowed as much as I am with how much control we got at these levels in just 5 minutes. Now, before I line all of these up side by side for you to see, I do have the swatch, and with the swatch card, we're gonna line them up and see how they compare. Now, I don't have ROV or GV to compare, but at least we can line it up to the beige, the VP, and the SV just to see how well they line up. So let's start out with the beige. We're gonna go ahead and line this up, and it's pretty darn close there. Now let's take a look at this VP. This one actually looks a lot more violet on our swatch in comparison. Now all of these swatches on here are shown on white hair, so they should be pretty similar. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the difference was, but and then for the last one, we have the SV, and the SV also kind of looks a little bit more on the violet side in comparison. I almost want to say that the SA looks pretty close to the SV swatch. What this has taught us is that definitely making your own swatches is really important, because you just really never know, because at the end of the day, are we really toning on white hair? Probably not. So definitely try out your toners on different levels of swatches, so that way you kind of know what you're walking into based on the canvas that you're toning. Now let's go ahead and line all of these up side by side and see the difference between all of them. So as you can see, the level that you lift to makes a significant difference in the type of tone and end result you will achieve, regardless of what toner you're using. However, the benefit of using the rapid toners is that they do tone in 5 minutes or less. That's literally what makes them so unique and so special. If you like more videos like these, or if there's a product line or color line that you would like me to test and try, please let me know down below in the comments. To learn all of the ways that you can work with me or all of my online courses and education, head on over to MirellaManelli.com. I have something super special coming up, HairB&B University, that you're not going to want to miss. So be sure to get on the newsletter so that way you can be the first to know when it launches. And finally, be sure to find me on all of my other social channels like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all under Mirella Manelli. And be sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you love videos like these, and I will see you in the next one.